Hi YouTube. I would just like to make this video in response to all the other videos I've seen on YouTube in the RV community about the people that are really worried about this new regulation that's coming out, Regulation FR-5877-P-01, Manufactured Home Procedural and Enforcement Regulations, Revision of Exemption for Recreational Vehicles. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I, I, but this is just my interpretation of what that law is. So let's go through it real quick. The summary of this law is the rulemaking proposes to revise the exemption for recreational vehicles that are not self-propelled from HUD's manufactured housing procedural and enforcement regulation. This proposed rule is based on the recommendation adopted by the Manufacturing Houses Consensus Committee, MHCC, which would define a recreational vehicle as one built on a vehicular structure not certified as a manufactured home. Key right there, not certified as a manufactured home. Designed only for recreational use and not as a primary residence or a permanent occupancy, and built and certified in accordance with either the National Fire Protection Association or American National Standards Institute consensus standards for recreational vehicle. HUD is adopting the MHCC's recommendation, but modifying it to require certification with an updated ANSI standards, and by including a requirement that units claiming the ANSI exemption prominently display the notice stating that the unit is designed for only for recreational use and not as a primary residence or permanent dwelling. And if you go down to section 2, the proposed rule in the middle, it says, where is it? HUD is proposing to require that each ANSI certified structure seeking an exemption include a notice to be prominently displayed in a temporary manner in the kitchen, countertop, or exposed cabinet face until the completion of the sale transaction that explains that the manufacturer certifies that the structure is a recreational vehicle designed for recreational use and not for the use as a primary residence or a permanent occupancy. The notice shall further explain that the manufacturer certifies that this unit has been built in accordance with ANSI standards. This notice shall be placed prominently to ensure customers and consumers that they are made plainly aware of the distinction between a recreational vehicle that are not self-propelled and manufacturing housing, reflecting the intent of the MHCC in its recommendation to draw a clear distinction between the two products. There seems to be a lot of confusion from a lot of people, and a lot of people are getting worried. I watched Pippi Peterson, I watched Living Free videos, and they seem really upset about it, and I can understand why, but you really need to read it. And they're not going to make living in an RV illegal. It's a free country. If you go out and spend 20, 30, 50, 100, $1 million on an RV, and then they're going to tell you you can't live in it? No, it's not going to happen. You can live in it. You can move around. You can boondock. You can go camping, do whatever you want. What this law is doing is just determining the difference between a manufactured home and an RV. For instance, a manufactured home, like a double wide or a trailer, you can purchase that, and it has wheels on it. It's built on a chassis. But the difference between that and, let's say, a fifth wheel or a towable or a just standard RV or anything like that, or a van, is that this vehicle has been built under the same fire protection standards, under fire code, building code, electrical code, their plumbing codes, everything's code, just like a brick and mortar house, just like the apartment I'm in right now. It's been built to code. If a fire inspector came in here, or electrical inspector, building inspector came in, they'd say this house is legal and it's considered a permanent residence. Now, RVs, they're safe. They're built to codes, but they're built to codes for recreational vehicles. And there is a difference. And that's all they're doing. Just so people understand that if they go and buy a towable or a fifth wheel or an RV, you can't just buy a piece of property, pull the wheels off, boom, it's considered a home. No, it's not. If you buy a piece of property and you want to build a home on it, fine, but it has to be built to code. It has to be built to certain codes. There's reasons why these laws are there. They're there for your safety and the safety of others. So it's not going to make a difference, this law. It's not going to affect you or your life or your lifestyle or anything that you're doing in any way whatsoever. Basically, what it's going to do is it just means that the manufacturers are going to have to put a little disclaimer on their sales tickets saying it's not a manufactured home. That's all it is. Justin Credible got it right when he said it's just all hype. It's nothing you need to worry about. It's not going to stop you. I mean, technically, it is illegal to live in a vehicle. Who's going to enforce it? I mean, not many people. I've never seen an RVer or someone, a van dweller, being arrested for living in their vans. They just shoo them out. Tell them, go somewhere else. So you really have nothing to worry about. It's not going to affect your life at all. All this really is just a way so insurance companies can insure properties properly. You can't, just put other people at risk by considering it a home. Now, if in Peppy Peterson, she made a point about some vehicles that are like towable trailers and they build structures around them. Well, that can be a building code issue, and that's legal. That's perfectly understandable. If you want to consider a vehicle a home, it has to be a manufactured home. It has to be something that can be put on a slab where city water can be hooked up, gas and electric can be hooked up, not just a plug, not just a hose. That's all this is. Nothing to worry about. You're all going to be able to keep living the lifestyle that you're living. No problems whatsoever. So I hope this clears all that up. You have nothing to worry about. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.